All right, guys, so I'm back here, and welcome back to the channel again, of course. And yeah, so this was a really easy refurb to do because I could just do the factory restore, whatever they call it, and we're up and running, right? So a lot faster than my normal process. Now, of course, it still needs to probably go through its Windows updating process, but we don't necessarily need to do that right now in order to get the specs on it, because it has all the standard drivers and stuff that would have came with the original operating system, so we can just work with that. So that's what we're going to do. So let's get into it here. So it is running Windows 7 Home Premium, and it's 64-bit, and it has 6 gigabytes of RAM, which is nice because if it didn't have the 64-bit operating system, we wouldn't have full access to all that RAM, which is great for Windows 7 system. So wouldn't you know it, I had to get a call just as I'm shooting this. Anyway, we're gonna try again. So we talked about obviously the specs here, and yeah, so let's swing out of here and look at the Windows experience. So let's take a look here, and I think, of course, we know right away that it's going to be the graphics that are always the weak point on these systems, but overall score is looking good, and this looks like it rates a little higher than my last system that I was looking at. So we can take care of that, get rid of that. Okay, let's swing over here and look at the CPU info. So yeah, it's rocking a Intel i3, Core i3, 2310M, and it's a Sandy Bridge chip. Not terrible. It's got hyper-threading. It's got 2 cores and 4 threads, so not bad at all. It's running at 2.1 gigahertz, and got lots of instruction sets there. The main board is this one, which is a 3585 motherboard, and the BIOS date is 2011. I'm sure there's a newer BIOS out there, but unless there's a good reason for it, I won't be doing anything about that. We got DDR3, nice, dual channel, and it's running at its maximum speed by the looks of it, which is great. That's an improvement over the last system we were looking at. So yeah, let's take a look. We got 2 gigabytes, yeah, running at 666. We got 4 running at the same speed. Yeah, so 2011 RAM LX. Let's take a look at the other one. Okay, so I'm suspecting it might be, I wonder if there's been some kind of addition here, because they're 2 different brands, but they are 2011, let's see. Yeah, it could be factory. Hard to say, but they're matched up, so that's all that really matters. And I'll take 6 gigabytes of RAM any day of the week. Yeah, and so the graphics they're going with is the HD family graphics, Sandy Bridge type. Let's take a look at more detail on the actual graphics. So here we go. So it's the Intel Graphics 3000 series, 64 megabytes of dedicated RAM with, shared 1.6 gigabytes of system memory. Got lots of system memory to work with, so that's great. We'll see how that does in the test, Nova Bench test, and it's running at 1366 by 768, so a very decent size monitor. And of course, we know all the components they're all set up with proper drivers because it was a factory restore. So getting a quick overview of the entire system, we have temps running good. Yeah, pretty much the same things we've already seen. Storage is a Western Digital, looks like a 700, maybe 750, I'm not sure. SATA hard drive spinning, of course. We got a DVD player, and we have just the regular graphics, audio. And here we go. Yeah, 750 gigabyte hard drive. Let's take a look how long this thing's been running. 171 days, not bad. A lot of power on counts. That sounds about right for this type of a system. 2011. So yeah, it's got some miles on it, but it's certainly not worn out, and it's showing good for the smart measurements, and it's running at a good low temperature. So of course, what we've all come here to see, how does it rate against other systems? And of course, it has these things running. I like to leave those running because, you know, whatever they are probably just pretty standard. And here we go. Here we go. Floating point operations are doing their thing. Yeah, so this was a nice little find today. It was about $10 cheaper than the last system I picked up, and it came with all the parts. I didn't have to add anything, so that was kind of nice. Yeah, it's a little smaller, this one. Okay, let's take a look here. We're getting FPS hovering around 100, so a little less than the last system we looked at. It was running a Pentium of all things. So, you know, sometimes just because something doesn't have the hottest processor, it still can be pretty decent. So there you go, guys. There's the RAM. Seeing all the RAM. There's the floating point and all that jazz. There's the graphics score of 93. Still quite decent. And a much better hard drive score than the last one we looked at. But overall, it's 538. So nothing too exciting, but kind of scoring. These are typical scores I've found for systems around 2010, 2011 into maybe even like the Windows 8 era. You'd get scores somewhere in this range of about 550-ish. So 525, 550, somewhere in that range. Very common. You know, the graphics always seems to be the weak point with HP, and no exception here. But that's what you were dealing with back in 2011. And you know, frankly, you can do a lot with a system like this. It's a very solid system. So yeah, happy to have this as my final laptop that I'm going to be adding to my collection of you know, hobby systems. So there you go, guys. That's it. That's all. I guess maybe we'll get rid of this. Do we want to save? No. Oh, hang on a second. Yes, let's close without saving. That's what we're trying to do. All right. So this is going to be, how about that funky wallpaper? That's actually their wallpaper from the factory restore. Yeah. Okay, guys. And we will see you in the next video. I'm not sure what it's going to be about, but it won't be about thrifting because I'm not doing any more thrifting. It won't be about a new computer. Somebody gives me one, I guess. But yeah, it won't be about a new computer. It'll be one of the other computers, the many computers I have in my collection that I'll be looking at. Or something else. Who knows? I'm not sure. But this is a kind of a milestone, an end of an era. And yeah, looking forward to what comes next. Talk to you guys later.